Between your sets, your muscles are doing something more deliberate than simply waiting for the next one. Phosphocreatine that was consumed during the set is being resynthesized. Creatine kinase running in reverse, using ATP from mitochondrial respiration to reattach phosphate groups to creatine, rebuilding the buffer that will support the next heavy effort. The speed of this resynthesis determines how much of your maximal force capacity is available when you start the next set. Phosphocreatine resynthesis is rapid in the early recovery period. The first 30 seconds of rest after a maximal sprint or a heavy resistance exercise set restores roughly 50 to 60% of the phosphocreatine that was depleted. 2 minutes of rest restores approximately 80 to 90%. Beyond 3 minutes, resynthesis is largely complete. These kinetics set the floor for meaningful rest intervals in high-intensity training. Creatine supplementation directly affects this resynthesis dynamic. Higher intramuscular creatine stores, achieved through supplementation, do not slow the absolute rate of resynthesis, but they mean that there is more phosphocreatine available to replete after each set. The percentage resynthesized in a given rest interval is similar, but the absolute amount replenished is larger because the starting pool is larger. Research measuring phosphocreatine levels via phosphorus magnetic resonance spectroscopy, a non-invasive technique that can track high-energy phosphate concentrations in muscle during exercise, has shown that creatine-supplemented muscle both starts with more phosphocreatine at the beginning of an exercise bout and recovers phosphocreatine faster in absolute terms during rest intervals. The functional result is that the second, third, and fourth sets of a resistance training exercise begin with a better replenished buffer than in the non-supplemented state. This between-set recovery effect is why creatine's benefits are most pronounced in training protocols with multiple sets and moderate to short rest intervals. The conditions where phosphocreatine resynthesis is chronically pressured. A powerlifter resting 5 minutes between heavy singles gives the phosphocreatine system ample time to replenish fully, regardless of creatine status. A hypertrophy-focused athlete working 3 sets of 10 to 12 with 90-second rest intervals is consistently drawing on a partially replenished buffer. And creatine meaningfully improves what is available for each subsequent set under these conditions. The metabolite accumulation profile between sets also differs between supplemented and non-supplemented individuals. Inorganic phosphate, released when phosphocreatine breaks down, accumulates in the muscle cell during high-intensity effort, and itself contributes to fatigue by interfering with myosin-actin cross-bridge cycling. Faster phosphocreatine resynthesis means faster clearance of inorganic phosphate from the muscle cell interior. This is a secondary mechanism through which creatine's between-set recovery effect reduces fatigue expression and allows more total quality work in a session. The intra-workout creatine benefit is therefore both about the quantity of energy available and about the rate of fatigue compound clearance. Both operate through the phosphocreatine system, and both are enhanced by maintaining maximal muscle creatine stores through consistent supplementation. The practical design of training protocols is influenced by understanding how the phosphocreatine resynthesis timeline interacts with rest intervals. Research has established that rest intervals shorter than 2 minutes result in incomplete phosphocreatine resynthesis before the next set, meaning subsequent sets begin with a partially depleted buffer. Longer rest intervals, 3 to 5 minutes, allow near-complete resynthesis. Creatine supplementation does not change the fundamental timeline of phosphocreatine resynthesis in percentage terms. What it does is increase the starting and ending pool size. With a larger absolute phosphocreatine pool to begin with, the absolute amount resynthesized in any given rest interval is greater, and the absolute amount available at the start of the next set is greater regardless of whether resynthesis is complete. This means creatine's between-set benefit is most relevant in training designs with rest intervals that do not allow complete resynthesis, short rest hypertrophy protocols, and time-compressed training sessions. For athletes training with long rest intervals, powerlifters resting 5 to 8 minutes between maximal efforts, phosphocreatine resynthesis is largely complete regardless of creatine status, and the between-set benefit of creatine is less pronounced. The acute competition benefit, when starting with a larger total pool, remains, but the interset recovery advantage is diminished by the long rest.